Hey guys, it's Sonia here. I'm just sort of vlogging about my life today. I feel like my life is unmanageable, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with Gunnar, and I want to explain how that is. I guess I just want to document this. This is where we're at now. He's turning 16 at the end of the month. He's calmed down a lot. He's not like this unruly little guy that he was when he was a little kid. The problem is school refusal. So he decided to go back to school 3 years ago. It went okay the first and second year. There were issues, but he did go. And he managed to pass grade 8 and 9. So now he's in grade 10. And here's the problem. School refusal. Relentless, intractable school refusal. The first semester, where he missed a month because of our vacation and the quarantine, he was on the honor roll because I tutored The second session, he missed 6 weeks because, I don't know, he wasn't feeling good. He had a sinus infection. You may remember I kept taking him to the doctor. End result was he missed 6 weeks of school. And everyone was like, okay, look, he did really well the first session. It wasn't so good this session, but maybe he can make up for it. This is only worth a small part of the final grade. So we're all hoping that the third session is going to get straightened out. Third session comes along and he is attending, but he's showing up at lunch, and when he goes, then he does nothing at school. But I didn't realize how bad it was until well into the third session. But I didn't realize that he was so behind. I thought that they had a handle on it and he was getting at least something done while he was there, because he's very smart. So even though he was there half a day, I thought, but he must be catching up on whatever he missed in the morning, because I didn't hear a single complaint. Then I find out he hasn't been doing anything. So he's basically going at lunch and doing nothing when he's there. And also there were at least one day a week where he refused to go. And then as the third session went on, he just refused more and more and more. And now it's like exam time, and they still had hope. Like even up until the last minute, they were like, well, if he goes to the catch up for science, maybe he can get the work done, and if he just passes the exam for certain courses, we're probably going to pass him to grade 11. Anyway, we've all been trying very hard to help him and to get him through. I've been doing my best. I didn't do as much as I did in previous years, but that's because I thought the school was doing it, and also because I'm completely exhausted with trying to keep him afloat in school. I'm so tired of it. So here's the problem with the school refusal. It's not just like, oh, well, he said he wasn't going to school, so he's not going, and I'm just gonna go to work and do whatever. When he refuses to go to school, he doesn't actually outright say, I'm not going, I can't do it, please mom, just move on with your day. He kind of acts like he's going along with the program, like he's getting himself dressed, he's putting his socks and shoes on, which still takes like half an hour. But it looks like he's doing his thing. But then at the end, when we're supposed to go through the door, he just kind of wanders around the house like a fish in a fishbowl, going in circles. He starts making noises, and he's just sort of like breaking down, and he's not saying I'm not going, but maybe he'll try to find something that he's got to do first, like, oh, he has to go to the bathroom, or could he have a sandwich first, or I just need 5 minutes. I would prefer if he just said, Mom, I'm not going, move on, because what happens is I wait, and I have a lot of things to do. I end up waiting around and waiting around, and my time is just passing. All the things that I had to do that day, I have less and less and less time to get them done. So I'm trying not to be stressed out with him. I'm trying to be calm, but it's really hard to hide my aggravation and my stress. And if you pressure him, then it makes it worse. Like, you can't say anything that gives him added stress. Well, I'll be standing there like, I cannot even believe this, you know. I'm waiting for him to put his socks on. I'm getting the feeling that he's stringing me along and he's not really going to go. I'm trying to stay calm and not say anything that's going to add to his stress. But at this point, I'm thinking, it doesn't really matter what I say. He's not going to go. He's stringing me along. My time is passing. I'm feeling more and more under pressure. Finally, it turns out he's not going to go. But, you know, it would have been better if he just said it first thing in the morning. And I was like, okay, fine. You're not going. Let's just move on. But because I think he's going and I'm like, come on, Gunnar, socks and shoes. Are those shoes on yet? You know, like with a little kid. Okay, Gunny, get up, get off the couch. Let's go. Okay, we're going through the door now. Grab your bag. Like, I have to do all that, right? And because I'm doing all that and he doesn't really want to do it, he starts like shutting down and breaking down. But what happens with him when he gets stressed is he loses his, you know, but he basically goes like nonverbal. I mean, it depends on the level of stress. He either can't speak at all or he just tends to not speak, you know? So I don't really know what's going on with him. I'm getting like so much stress from trying to get him out of the house. And then at a certain point, he just sort of starts breaking down. He's going around and around and around like a fish in a fishbowl and like making noises and like maybe even hitting himself. And I'm like, oh my God. And then, you know, the thing is, once he gets in this kind of a state, I think it's pretty obvious he's not going to be going to school that day, but also I can't leave. I can't leave him like that and just walk away because I feel like it's not safe for him. And then I'll be honest with you, then I feel like I'm stuck. I'm like a prisoner. I have this long list of things I got to do and I can't do them. You know, I got to go, let's say today, okay, I'm supposed to go to Costco. I've been supposed to do that forever, but I can't find the time because everything is all messed up. Costco, I got to do all the laundry. I got to go take care of my mother. I have to drop something off at the post office for Poshmark, and I got to drop off a urine sample at the clinic. And then I have an appointment with someone at 2, which means I have like 1 hour to get those things done for my appointment. That's never going to happen. I'm not sure when I'm going to get done. Maybe the post office and the urine sample, maybe I could see my mother and then postpone the appointment. But see, now I'm juggling, you know. That's what I mean. It's unmanageable. I make my schedule. I make my commitments to other people. I have all this stuff I got to do, and I just can't do it because of Gunnar's issues and his behavior, and I'm stuck there having to like watch him. Today, okay, I dropped him off with his dad, and I was just like, okay, I'm moving on with my day, and let's hope that the day goes okay. But you know what? Like, this is like a daily thing, man. This is like ongoing, and I think it gives me a lot of stress, and then I can't sleep because I guess too much cortisol in the day. So last night I wasn't able to sleep at all. I slept 2 hours and I was up until like 6:30. I finally turned off the alarm, texted the bus driver in the school. I said, sorry, we were up all night and we can't come in. Because knowing that I have this short time to sleep and I got to get up and do it all over again, like the stress is so much that's like I can't even sleep, and that just adds to it. This is totally unmanageable. I don't know what the solution is. I'm thinking if I keep him in this school and he's supposed to go back in the fall, there's a good chance he's just going to refuse because he's 16. He can drop out. I think that he might just say, I'm not going. And that's why I need to make a decision now if I'm going to pull him out and homeschool him. Am I going to deregister him again? And I'm thinking I'm going to have to do that. Because at least that way he's technically in school. He's not dropped out. Even if he goes at a slow pace. I mean, it'll suck because he won't be with his friends anymore, but this is not doable. I mean, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack just talking about it. This is not livable. It's not doable. Every day is chaotic for me. It all revolves around him, and most of it has to do with school. I'm so sick of it. It's been like this since the first day I put him in kindergarten. I better calm down. I feel like I really am going to have a heart attack. I don't want to have one in my car. Nobody's going to know. They're going to find the dead body. It's going to be like Mad Magazine's skeleton with cobwebs. I feel like my chest is being squeezed. That's how bad the stress is. So anyway, people take a look at him. They're like, he doesn't look autistic to me. I don't see the problem. Yeah, okay, well, You're not his parent. You don't live with him. You don't know what we're dealing with and what he's dealing with. So you wouldn't know. And I haven't really talked about it much because there's a part of me that just kind of wants to not like talk about the negative things and the difficult things in our lives online. But I mean, to be fair, I know a lot of you have been following this journey that of ours, you know, since the beginning, and I figure you might want to know how it's going. Hopefully there'll be a happy ending and that'll encourage someone else. But it's been a roller coaster. There was a time where it was really bad and I felt like this, and then it kind of got better, and it is better compared to before. I mean, I can walk down the street with him, as he doesn't run all over the place anymore. That kind of stuff is better. He goes out by himself. I can leave him alone. He's calmer, you know, like I don't have the little kid problems, but this school stuff, oh my God. And they've been cool with us because they know that school has been a huge issue from the beginning, and he's almost dropout age, because if it was like, if this was last year, they would have called youth protection and he would have probably gone to like juvie or, well, whatever they call it. Like they would have probably taken him and put him somewhere for school refusal, for truancy. That has always been my biggest fear. Or they wouldn't lock him up, but they would fine me for his truancy. And it's like, I cannot do better. Go ahead and fine me. I can't do any more than I'm doing. I just can't. He just won't go. So I've been afraid of getting fined, you know, or if something happened to him, and I'll actually be very relieved when he's 16 and I know that this nightmare is sort of over. But do I keep him in or do I homeschool him? I think I'm going to have to deregister him because it has to be done in the summer. If you wait until the start of school year, it's too late. It's a difficult decision because he wants to be there. He actually wants to be at school. He doesn't want to be like this, but he's just not able. He just can't handle it. He wants to be with his friends, and he wants to have a normal life. He really does. And he wants to do all the things people do, but there's something wrong with him. It's like his mind just his mind is disorganized, but not like in an ADD way, but like in a really like very disorganized, can't manage his time, and he's easily overwhelmed, and he just sort of shuts down like all the time. As soon as there's any demand on him, as soon as there's any pressure, which is why you can't like use rewards and punishments. You can't yell at him. You can't even use approval as a reward because he sees that as a sort of demand also. Oh, you like when I do that? Okay, so that means you want me to do it. Okay, now I'm not comfortable doing it. This is why they call it pathological demand avoidance. This isn't a question of your teenager won't clean his room. This is like, these are kids that are like 10 or 12 and they still don't use the toilet by themselves because it's a demand. He does, okay, since the age of 10, but that's the level it's at. That's the kind of demand avoidance we're talking about. Not regular demand avoidance. We're talking pathological demand avoidance. It's a real thing. I know the name sounds ridiculous, but it's a real thing. I think that the adult version would be like an avoidant personality disorder. This particular type of autism, I find it's truly, really a lot more like a very disordered personality. Because I know people who are Aspies that they come across weird. They have like a weird voice, or their eye contact, or they weird interests, or weird nerdy folks, you know, but they're very cool. Like there's no drama. They're really easygoing, and they're just really cool people, and you can really be friends with them. And yeah, they're like, other than the exterior, which is so weird and nerdy and eccentric, they're totally normal people, you know. And then there's people like my son that they kind of look so normal, but the personality is very disordered. And my only other hope is the fact that apparently I was like this when I was younger. I know that I was apparently, people thought I was a complete write-off, and something happened when I was 21. I guess I kind of grew a brain, or something in my brain matured, and I became a much more functional, normal person. But now I understand why my mother always said, my hope for you is that one day you will be functioning. She used to say that, and I would get very insulted. Or she would say to me, my hope is that one day you'll be a regular girl. She would say all these kind of things to me. And I would just get really insulted and, you know, offended. But I can really understand now why she said it. She shouldn't have said it. I make sure not to say it to my son, because all it does for him is make him feel like he's inferior to other people. So I'm not going to say any of that. But I can understand what you do start wondering, is your kid ever going to be functional? Because this kind of stuff, like, it extends to everything. People go, oh, why doesn't he do this, or why doesn't he do that? But because he's like this with everything, even his music, even with that, he can't, you can't reliably, you can't have any demands or expectations on him. Even if he'll practice for 8 hours a day if he just spontaneously wants to. But if he's expected to do it, or if he has a goal that he's going to then, perform somewhere, or like even he's in a band at school, and he cannot reliably show up to class to jam with them till he's ready for the performance. Like, he's so completely unreliable because of the demand of White Ends. So no matter how talented he is or how much he likes the thing, he's totally unreliable. It's not there's no easy fix. It extends to absolutely everything. So I don't know about employability and whatever. Even with music, I mean, it's not the music that's the problem. It's his personality, it's his mind, I mean, imagine like a person who just avoids everything all the time, It's not easy. Anyway, pray for us, you guys. I'm feeling very down about it today. All I want, honestly, is for God's peace, to be honest. That's all I want. I just want us to have peace about it. Whatever it is, if he drops out and then in a couple of years he goes on welfare, let's just have peace about it. I just can't stand the stress, the pressure of trying to get him to, achieve more, or, do more with his life, or have more opportunities or whatever. Like, it's just a lot of stress on all of us. I've had it. Anyway, I'm going to go do some of my errands now and see what I get done. But yeah, this is us now. This is where we're at. That's it, you guys. Thanks for being there. Thanks for listening to me. And I'll see you next time.